Coming to get you, Bobber.
Godzilla vs. Kong is a 2021 action sci-fi movie directed by Adam Wingard, and it stars Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown and Rebecca Hall. Before we get into this review, guys, this is going to be a spoiler review. I don't think I can really do a movie review and make it long enough to be an actual review. So this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want spoilers, don't watch. But if you don't mind, or if you have seen it, then continue watching. Full disclosure, guys, I wasn't a fan of Kong Skull Island, and I also wasn't a fan of Godzilla King of the Monsters either. So that was the last two movies in this monsterverse that I wasn't a massive fan of. Skull Island was quite fun, but King of the Monsters was very boring for me. I just didn't really like it. Whereas Godzilla 2014, I thought that was decent. I thought it was quite dark, and it reminded me of old nightmares when I was a kid. So I think that was pretty good, and that was the only reason why I wanted to see this movie, because I wanted them to go back to that dark route, because I know that Adam Wingard, the director, is a good horror director, so I thought he would maybe give us more of a horror element to this movie, but that wasn't the case. Now, I have read online about some reviews that people were saying that it wasn't realistic, it's so far-fetched, and I think that's ridiculous when it comes to reviewing a movie like this. One thing I will give it is you have to suspend disbelief getting into movies like this, obviously, because you've got a big massive ape and you've got Godzilla fighting each other, so you have to suspend disbelief, and if you can't get past that, you're going nowhere with this movie. Judging from the trailers, and we shouldn't really do that, I wasn't expecting much, if anything, from this movie. I think it looked like just a CGI bore fest, to be honest. I didn't see a story within the trailers, and I thought maybe that's just the marketing. I expected a movie with great visuals, of course, but I expected as well a script similar to movies like The Meg and Sharknado, and unfortunately I was right. Visually it was stunning, we can't fault that. The visuals were fantastic, even the colours in the city was beautiful. My issue is the script and the acting. I wasn't expecting the acting to be that bad, and the acting wasn't terrible, but the acting still reminded me of movies like Sharknado. It was like a B movie, and I didn't like that, and the same goes for the script as well. The script was pretty bad. Some of it I didn't really understand, and it wasn't because I'm a stupid person, because I'm not that stupid. I just thought that the script was very convoluted and it didn't need to be. I know that there was old classic silly movies featuring King Kong and Godzilla, so I don't know the story behind all of that, but I think one of the most ridiculous parts was bringing the two of them together. The way they chose it, I thought it was too similar to Pacific Rim. Now, I'm not saying they're copying Pacific Rim, because again, I don't know how they've done it in the past. For all I know, Pacific Rim is copying Godzilla and Kong, but because Pacific Rim came out a few years ago and its sequel, I thought maybe they could have done it a little bit different to something like that, because it reminded me too much of Pacific Rim. One of the worst parts of Batman vs Superman was that infamous Martha scene, and if you've seen that movie and this movie, you know what I'm going to say. They've done something almost identical to Batman vs Superman. Mid-fight, after Godzilla was about to kill Kong, he decided, nah, we're not going to fight anymore because we don't need to do that. And I thought, why? You know, they're two giants fighting each other to the death. There can only be one alpha, but they've decided, you know what, there can be two alphas midway through the fight. I thought that was silly. I'll quickly talk about Mecha Godzilla. It seems like that character was shoehorned in at the last minute. Even though we had a bit of a backstory and a build-up of Mechagodzilla, it still felt like it was just shoehorned in there, almost like they already filmed the scenes for what they were going to do and then decided, let's put Mechagodzilla in at the very end. Maybe that's not the case, it's probably just lazy writing, but the way they done it, it just felt too quick and shoehorned in there. I found myself cringing all the way through it, even during the fight as well, and I probably shouldn't have felt that way because some of the fight scenes were really good. My son was jumping up and down when the two of them were fighting each other, but at the same time I thought, wow, it's visually stunning, but the way they done it, it was just very cringy. It's almost like the way they made this movie, it made it feel like these two should never share a movie again unless they get a good writer in and do something a lot better than what we saw. At the end of the day, guys, I didn't like it at all. I don't even want to pretend that I liked it because I can't do that. I think the only positive that I got out of this was the visuals. Even the fight scenes weren't that great, you know, all the buildings getting knocked over, etc. All the people dying, like Man of Steel. Even that couldn't save it for me. It was visually stunning, but what I was looking at was an absolute mess. So what are your guys' thoughts on this movie? What are your guys' thoughts on the Monsterverse itself? I see it going nowhere. I don't think this was good. I think they'll probably do a sequel in the future if it makes a lot of money, whether it be theatrically or VOD, I don't know. But I still see them making future movies. I'm just not that interested. I wasn't interested before I saw the movie, and I'm certainly not interested after seeing the movie. But again, leave a comment down below, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.